Yours, Ronnie and EJ.
Okay, great. So welcome everyone. Thanks for being here today. Is Nicholas here as well?
Yes.
Yes, Nicholas is there.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, I was.
So I don't know if you've all seen the agenda which was circulated yet, but I'll just run down through it at a very high level, and then between us we'll share some of the information that we're going to be going through. So obviously we're going to just do a quick round robin and say hi, so we all know who's here. Then we're going to talk about one of our main goals for the Trade Services MAC for this year, which is to expand the MAC, which will involve talking about how many WTCs that we have in the region who are engaged in trade services, and also just open the forum up and look for ideas and discussion around the ideas that we have. We're going to discuss then our virtual trade mission program, and then we're going to spend about 10 minutes talking about some reciprocity information that we've recently received before we conclude. So if we're all okay with that, I'll just kind of kick straight into the first topic. So, well, the first piece of it, which is just to do a round robin welcome. So I think probably the best way to do that is I'll go around if we just go around the screen and just say who's here. So who will just I'm aware that everyone's going to see this in a different order. So we'll just go from the top around. So who's Mehran, you're first, and if you just follow your screen around, call out the next person.
Hi everybody, I think everybody knows me, Mehran from World Trade Center Cyprus.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Carol Nissa from World Trade Center Noida.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, Ronnie.
This is Anthony, also from World Trade Center Cyprus. Good to see you all again.
Very good. EJ, World Trade Center Leeuwarden, Vice Chair of this wonderful MAC.
This is Abdul Qadir Bahman, World Trade Center Kabul, Afghanistan. And good to see you all, my friends.
Shall I call out?
I'll go. This is Henry. I'm a new member from Kyiv. I met many of you in Rotterdam last year, but now I'm officially here. So thank you very much for having me today.
I'll pick the next person. Freek, what about you?
Okay, Freek Faber, World Trade Center Twente, the Netherlands, near the German border.
Alex, are you here?
Yes, Alex, World Trade Center Moscow. Hi. It's not -20, no. It's +3 actually.
Who else do we have? Anders.
Hi there. I'm Anders, World Trade Center Brussels.
Who have we missed?
Yanni.
Yanni.
Yeah, hi, Jani Rusi from World Trade Center Turku. +6 degrees here now.
With your wonderful video.
Thank you.
Pretty great.
Okay.
Sorry.
Hello, I'm Patrick from WTC Antwerp, and also my colleague Peter is on the screen, I think, but I do not see it at this moment. Good afternoon.
Hi, Patrick.
Shall I follow?
Yes, please.
My name is Iris. I'm from the World Trade Center Twente, and I just joined in January.
Good.
Shall I follow?
Please.
I'm Sebastian from World Trade Center Brest in France, and we have 12 degrees today.
Should have included the weather.
Serge. Serge? Yes.
Yes, I am Serge from WTC Abidjan, and I'm a new member with my boss, Stéphane Accounts. Hi, everybody.
Welcome.
Very welcome. Very welcome.
May I?
Yes, go on.
Yes, just after stage, my name is Stéphane Akangi. I'm executive manager of CGC and World Trade Center Abidjan, new member.
Very good. Very welcome. Abdul. Abdul, are you the next?
I believe he did already, actually.
Yeah. Who's left?
Okay, Magdalena.
Hi, I'm Magdalena from the Regional Office Latin America.
Okay.
Hi, Magdalena. Fred?
Clement.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah, very well.
Hi. Hello, everyone. I am Clément from Lyon in France, Central France.
Okay.
Pleased to meet you all.
So is that everyone?
Fred, you briefly.
Good afternoon. My name is Fred. I'm from the WTCA Antwerp, Belgium, Europe.
Okay.
And
I see-
Antwerp, center of Europe. Central
I see
Europe.
Carlos is also there.
Yes,
Hi,
I'm
Carlos.
here. I'm
Good
here.
to have you.
I can take off my protection since none of you are infected. Yes, I'm the regional director for Latin America, and I'm very interested in knowing what's happening in Europe.
Okay.
Joost.
So, and I'm Niklas Aklund, European Membership Coordinator, and nice to see everyone.
Do we have everybody? Joost, you're not in. You're in.
Joost is hiding.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joost Poutsma, and I'm manager operations at World Trade Center Leeuwarden, as is in Avigion's World Trade Center. So, thank you for having me.
Okay, I think we have them all.
Everyone.
Rani.
Is that right?
Rani, maybe we should introduce our new sales director, Europe, Anais.
Very
Maybe
good.
it's
Hi.
our first meeting in this MAC.
Very good.
Hi,
Thank
I'm
you.
Anais. I know some of you. I'm the new sales coordinator for Europe. So I'll be hearing everything that you have to say. And I have also a comment from World Trade Center Barcelona that I've seen this morning, since I'm in Barcelona. So afterwards, if we have some time left.
Very good.
Excellent. It's nice to have you with us. Okay, so if that's everyone, let's just jump into the first item on the agenda, which is largely around expanding this MAC for 2021. So right now, I think on this meeting, we have 25 people. Our goal for 2021 is really just to expand the size of this trade services MAC, and for a couple of reasons. So the first and the main reason is that with the pandemic, with everything that's happened in the last year, we as trade centers have become even more reliant upon trade services as a tool to succeed and to work and network with each other. I speak from experience, just from a Dublin perspective, we are 100% trade services. So we've always been working in that operating space. So I think it's really, really important that what we do is we look into the number of engaged World Trade Centers that we have in our region, and then actually try and encourage more participation in this MAC, because this group of people, this network, this smaller network within the bigger network will be where we'll get the opportunity to foster a lot more activity, which will lead to a greater amount of connectivity between all of us, which will in turn lead to more trade. So we wanted to bring that to your attention. We wanted to discuss that. So we're happy to hear any thoughts about that. I just have, EJ and I have one very simple ask from all of you, but by the end of this discussion, which is, if we can all think about just one other trade center that's within our region, but that is not engaged with this trade services MAC, we would just like to ask if you could maybe just pick up the phone and ring them, reach out to them and ask them if they would consider becoming a member. If we can double the size of this MAC by the end of the year, I think that the amount of activity that we will create as a result and the amount of trade that we'll do and the uplift in the level of service that we can provide our members will be astonishing. So that's our goal, is basically to double the size of our MAC. And the way that we do that is if each one of us asks one other engaged trade center who is not already a member of the MAC if they will come along and join us. And you know, I'll hand the floor over to you. And Nicholas, I don't know if you wanted to say anything at this point, but we'd be just really interested to hear your ideas and your thoughts around that particular goal and how we might all work together to achieve it.
Maybe it's good to add the numbers a little bit. So far, 37 people have signed up for this MAC, and they come from 26 different World Trade Centers. The potential, however, is a little bit more, because if you look on the websites of the different World Trade Centers, then you see that there are probably over 28 other World Trade Centers showing some interest or showing some activities in trade services, but did not join so far. And then I talk about the whole region from the Middle East, Africa, and Europe. There is, of course, one big group, the Nest Group. They cover more than 12 offices, I guess. Although it would be wonderful to have them also in our MAC, because if you would like to share knowledge and if you would like to share potential in different regions, then it would be wonderful if the Nest organization has in every city a different person, but it would be nice to have a very strong representation of the Nest Group. But Mira, maybe you can add to that as well.
I promise you by your next meeting, you will have 5 new members.
Great.
That's brilliant.
Wonderful.
Who can beat that?
We're going to be applying for 3 more licenses from Ukraine within next month. So for our newly selected salesperson or the business development person, and I will be with 6 people.
And when will that take on, Henry? Is that in the planning for this year, or is that for the planning for next year?
The licenses we expect, and I spoke to Robin already, and Nicholas, we expect the applications to be submitted this month, and we hope to receive within 4 to 6 months the license for 3 projects.
Right.
That's brilliant
Goal
news.
for this year to add 10 licenses to Ukraine.
Yeah, so 2 goals that we have is, of course, looking into opportunities to share trade services and experiences in trade services, maybe also developing a couple of services with the whole region. But on the other hand, there is this demand and this wish to really speed up or to have more people joining our MAC. So those are the 2 things that we really would like to further discuss. Is there anybody else who would like to add to this idea?
A question administrative. How do I get the people to sign up actually? What do I need to do?
It's very simple. Crystal is there.
Yes, so if I can add, so they have to be a World Trade Center, a WTCA member already, and then you just send me their email and information, and as long as we have them in our database.
So basically, this is members of my team right now you're speaking about, correct?
Yes, yes. So Alex and Peter and yes, all of them.
Okay, got it. So should I bring all 17? I'm just kidding.
So, yes. I think also, perhaps Ronnie and EJ, when you speak of increasing the number of members, do you mean increasing not only people, but the number of World Trade Centers so that we expand into different cities?
Yeah, so a little bit of both. So what we really want to do is, and what we've seen is that in this MAC, whilst it's numbers that are important, engagement is even more so. So the more WTCs that we have, which are currently not a part of our MAC, it's really much more helpful because it allows all of us as a MAC to spread even further into other cities. But if one WTC has a number of team members that they would like to be able to get involved, that's even better because it just means more people who can do a little bit of heavy lifting when it comes to working together. So it's not that it's not beneficial to bring team members. I think that's excellent. But our goal is, as well as expanding deep, we want to expand wide.
Rani, it's maybe good to hear the story of Freek. Freek is mentoring one of the World Trade Centers, one of the new members. Freek, maybe you can add something to that also in regards to the trade services part.
I'm in contact with that with Nicholas. I got the name, but not really started. I don't have contact details, but I try to have activate the German World Trade Centers. So in that case, to see how they can start, it is most are only focused on real estate, and I try to convince them to that the World Trade Center is a building with a purpose. So that it's also good for them to look on the trade services side. So I'm looking for that and try to activate, and then when they have a slight idea, I try also to let them join this group. So that is where my focus is, as I'm also near the German border and I speak the language. So that's what we try, and the idea is we with 25, perhaps 15 World Trade Centers, if we all activate one, we are with 15 more in the next meeting. So that's not to say I'm gonna have contact with 5 or 10, but if we at least do one, and I promise to see that I get one of the German World Trade Centers involved, and together also with Nicholas and another World Trade Center.
But I like the concept of mentoring. Because
maybe I can fill in and add to that.
Yeah, please.
So the mentorship, it has not really started yet, but we have a new onboarding process which we are developing for the moment, and we are talking to new members. And we have also the focus of getting the new members to start with the trade services as soon as possible. So some of the members are more real estate focused and so on, but we are talking to them, and the mentorship is to increase the trade services, also putting them together with other members that are active on trade services and so on. Regarding the new members for Trade Service MAC, I will do my best also to promote the trade services. And when I speak to members that are not on any MAC at all, I will push them also to join the Trade Service MAC or Real Estate MAC. And that actually goes for Real Estate MACs also, because we want to have a combined property and trade services. So I will do my best to promote the trade services and Trade Service MAC when I speak to members.
Oh, yeah, but what I was thinking of, I mean, maybe in interesting other World Trade Centers to participate in this group, we might ask a couple of us becoming kind of a mentor for those World Traders that doubt to join for trade services, and maybe have questions and being added to it. That we collect your names, and that you say, "Oh, I'm willing to motivate 1 or 2 World Trade Centers. Put me on the list," so that we can add them to it. And maybe there's even a way of thinking of getting this mentoringship for trade services. That I think it would be wonderful, because then those that feel comfortable in this position or in this role, that they can help others to really get started, or also being stimulated in trade services. But I don't know what you think of that.
I think it's a lot to offer, yeah.
May I actually ask a question? I actually am a part of the trade services in APAC, and representing 13 World Trade Centers, which are in India or in Asia. The reason why I joined this MAC was to see if there is any collaborations for the trade services that I can do for my part of the World Trade Centers. I do not see Mumbai, which is a very, very active trade services, Bangalore, Kochi, the other World Trade Centers from India, not part of this MAC. Maybe because we already have the trade services APAC available. but we also need to see how we can create cross relationship with the other MACs, especially related to trade services.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think if we expand our reach, it will allow the two MACs to begin working together and better. And I think it's, it's great that you're here because it provides us with a bridge into a MAC in another region. But I feel like we could all benefit as World Trade Centers. We could all benefit from these relationships, across the two MACs. I feel that there's an awful lot we can do, as well as being amongst ourselves.
That's why we're also happy that Latin America is also well represented.
Yeah.
May I have two questions? One for Frick regarding the German World Trade Center you are mentoring. Which cities are they from? And another question to Crystal. I will call my colleague Nicolas from World Trade Center Rennes-Bretagne to ask him to join. But I think we have a list of the members of this MAC group on the page of the WTCA.
Correct. Yeah.
Question for me. I have contact with World Trade Center Dresden and World Trade Center Hamburg.
Okay.
And Hamburg is already long existing but not active, and Dresden is willing to become active. So we're also looking for things to do together to stimulate and let them also show what the network is.
Right. And yes, we do have the list on the resource center. I can distribute an updated list because now we have Kabul and Kiev and Abidjan joining us. So I'll redistribute with the minutes. But yes, that's you've called Nicholas with Ren first. So there you are. Please invite Nicholas.
I will.
But I think, EJ, you also brought up a very good point in terms of thinking through those who don't have trade services yet. So I think as you're thinking through who to invite, perhaps it's those with real estate plays or the exhibition venues, and really bringing on it and explaining to them how we're going to kind of fold trade services in, and mentoring is a very good point.
And also it's a revenue opportunity as well for other World Trade Centers who have excess capacity in trade services already, but they're maybe not a part of this MAC. So if they have a big team, but they're willing to take on and help other, as Crystal said, other WTCs who don't have trade services, but they're just real estate, but want to incorporate trade services, there's a way of making it a win-win.
Rani, I have a suggestion. We're all talking here about, and I think that's the most important thing, that we have these trade services. I mean, you're an example yourself. You have a World Trade Center, no building, but you are providing the services. Mm-hmm. I think it would be extremely good for us all if we could identify a World Trade Center that is a little bit of a model when it comes to trade services, and who can also show, and that's another important thing, we have to be able to make some money show that we're making some money on trade services. Otherwise, it's always difficult to get somebody to start doing it unless we can show them that this is the potential earning that you have. So I would very much like to see us identifying one or two World Trade Centers that can really show that, hey, this is a model. This is a little bit what we're looking for, right? And I think that would be a stimulus for everybody.
I think that's a good idea for the next session to have two business models being represented at our next meeting, next MAC meeting, because I agree with you. This is how we should make it valuable for everybody to learn from each other, and especially on the key aspect of making money, and that's I fully agree. And maybe out of this group, maybe there are two who would like to present their business model next time, then please let us know, let Rani and I know, and we will program it.
Henry, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I want to present next time.
Okay. Great.
Wonderful. Then we have already won.
Anyone else?
Nobody else is making money on trade services?
We try to not make a loss, and you know that. So it's good to, and I'm willing to share my experience anytime, and perhaps we can give a presentation on how we work together, EJ.
Great. Then we have 2 for next time, 2 business models to present, to also to give it a learning stage. Rani, summarizing the previous topic, we will ask everybody if you would like to share your knowledge on trade services with another World Trade Center, or if you would like to get in contact with one of the other World Trade Center, let us know so that we can put you on the list, and then we will get back to you to get back with 1 or 2 names to contact. So if we could have that, we could know that we would really appreciate that.
Yeah, that would be great. If we have if everyone just thinks about 1, then we've already achieved our target, because we already have a couple. I think there's a bit of a competitive thing going here, because we have, Mehran, how many did you say? 5?
Yeah, I will bring 5 of my colleagues from 5 different World Trade Centers.
Okay.
On the committee from Middle East and Africa.
Very nice.
Great. So it's a really great
start. Bring 6, but only from Kyiv.
Okay.
Also great. Okay, I think it's a great start. So everyone just think about 1. We'll follow up with EJ or myself, and we'll help you, send a message and onboard them. And for the next meeting, we will follow up. Freek and Henry will follow up with you just to present your case studies on what are viable business models for a successful trade services World Trade Center.
Yeah. And if there are others interested in showing a model or showing a specific activity that brings in money, then wonderful, present it, and let us know so that we can schedule you.
I think it's a great beginning to have those 2 presenting their business models, but I also think that we should have other members filling out that business models with other ideas and other possibilities from their experience, and at the end you will have a library full of possibilities.
Exactly.
Just Rani, may I say something?
Of course.
Look, I think we have to remember that none of us do trading. I'm not sure if this is my perception is correct. We actually facilitate trade for our members. We don't buy shoes and sell shoes. We find shoe sellers and shoe buyers and then put them together. That's what we do. So the business module, I think must be very similar in every location that we are in, is how to identify the members, their needs, and how to satisfy those needs, those demands in the most competitive way. I attended the North America Trade Services MAC, and one of the initiatives that they are doing is to prepare a best practice guideline. I don't know, Rani, EJ, if you are aware of that. And if you are participating in any shape or form in that initiative.
Right.
So we are aware of that. A number of different World Trade Centers have committed to contributing to the best practices manual, largely concentrating on the areas where they have expertise. So just in the context of trade services, if there's a World Trade Center who has expertise, for example, in generating revenue through consultancy, everyone is contributing to demonstrate how that's possible to do. But actually, you bring up a really good point, Mehran and Crystal. I wonder if this is a nice move into our next agenda item, which is actually coming out of that project, is the virtual trade mission program, because Karen, who's championing in America, she's championing the putting together of this manual, has also taken inputs in terms of virtual trade missions as just one section and put it together for us. And we wanted to talk about that at this meeting as well. And it's one model of revenue generation, and it's coming out of this best practices manual. Back when this first came up in New York, not last year, but the year before, I think we were discussing having 2 separate manuals for the regions, but with the information being as vast as it was, it just didn't make sense. And plus we are one network. So it just made sense to try and put everything in one place. And what has come out of that is a lot of really valuable information, including what we're about to talk about with the virtual trade missions. So EJ, if you're happy to move on to that topic, we can talk about that, and maybe that will illustrate Mehran's point.
Crystal, is it possible to show that document?
Is the virtual trade missions or the best practice guide?
No, the virtual trade mission. That's where we would like to move into.
Yeah, one moment. If you want to go ahead and start, I'll go ahead and open it up.
Yeah, so what we did, we have already presented it twice, also at the previous previous webinar, where we showed the virtual trade missions, and we through Rani and I, with our setup, and also from the setup from Toronto, if I'm well informed, we came up with a service offering overview for virtual trade missions, how you can use it, how you can make money on it, how you can charge, what steps that you should make for setting up a virtual trade mission. I know this document is also being discussed in other parts in the world, and I was wondering if this document, I hope you had a chance to read it, to go through it and go over it. It's a very simple setup, but it's being used for different models and different setups. And I was wondering if this is suitable for you, or if you had questions around the setup for this for these virtual trade missions. As you can see, there is we have on the left side, we have the activities from planning, selecting a market, selecting a partner, which is very important because not all the World Trade Centers are able to deal with this matter. And maybe they have to hire a professional organization who does the matchmaking. So selecting partners, there's a timeline, a setup for a timeline to give you just an idea of how long it will take and last for organizing a trade mission. Using a virtual platform, of course, with a virtual trade mission. The recruitment criteria for corporate participants, but also the coordination. I mean, it starts somewhere by getting and finding companies to participate to finally executing the program. And then there is a setup for a 3-day program, a 1-day, a first day where we are able to present the city or the region or the topic that you deal with, and like also explain or how to do business in that specific region. And then on day 2 and day 3, you have a business B2B matchmaking program with some consulting sessions. The business model itself, that's also an opportunity where you can make some money on, where you can charge either way your customer or the company that really participates, or you find sponsorship to cover the cost for your organization. And finally, it's also evaluation of the results. That's a little bit the setup, how we set up this document, how Karen set up this document. It's Karen Gurwitch, all the credits here, but this is a little bit the setup. And we plan to do more of these documents and create more of these documents so that you can look through it and you can make your own choices if this would be something for you to add to your service program. Questions in this regard?
Did you, EJ, organize already some of his virtual trade mission?
We have, for this year, we have 8 on the program, no 9. 9 virtual trade missions. And to be very honest, it is a tough thing to convince people to participate in a virtual trade mission. We have experience also in the Netherlands that people are a little bit getting virtual tired. And that's probably one of the reasons why it's not so well found as we had expected it. And then there is on one hand, like for example, we also had in the planning a trade mission to Dublin. And Rani also said halfway through from, well, it might be to choose a different time frame because the companies in Ireland are not ready yet to receive new opportunities and businesses. So it is for us, it is really looking into the opportunities. But for example, we do one to Moscow with Alexei, and there we have 3 companies at the moment who will participate, and hopefully we will get to the 10 companies that we are looking for. Serious experiences in the number that I would love to have that has not been taken yet, but the setup for a trade mission itself, yeah, we have some experiences there.
So what kind of platform you're planning to use, and you have the experience of you passed trade missions, and how you're connecting the business to business or B2B meetings individually. So I think this is a technical point.
Good question. It's a little bit up for what you decide together with the other partner who organizes it. And I mean, if you would like to use the common Zooms or the Teams or whatever, that's a little bit up what you discuss with the individual companies, but also with your partner on the other hand. For example, like what we have done, Abdul, with our webinar, we used a platform from the Netherlands. But I can imagine that if you have a good platform on your side in Afghanistan, then maybe that's one of the platforms that you could choose. And I've noticed already that some of the platforms, they have wonderful tools also in going into B2B separate sessions or meetings. I would make it for myself. I would make it very simple. If I bring one company in contact with another company, then I can better ask the 2 of them from how would you like to be connected? Would you like to use it by Skype, or would you like to use it by Zoom? And we make the connection for you. We take care that you get a link sent to each other and then start communicating with each other. That's maybe a very simple solution there.
EJ, there are thousands and thousands of platforms you can go to use, but our research shows the cheapest and the biggest variety are from India. So perhaps FAIR can help us with identifying such platforms in Bangalore, where they are all developed.
Yeah.
Can I speak? I'm not sure of the etiquette yet.
Just go on.
Okay, great. What I want to point out, as Maharab, you have said earlier, in my opinion, the way we are building our trade services based on very different values of what we present to them, or to our customers, to our clients, to our companies. The key is, I don't see, as EJ, you pointed out, that it's very difficult to sell virtual missions and charge for it. Plus, this is not the money we should be making. What is WTCA is most known for, and that's the reason I was fighting so hard to bring it to Ukraine. That's what Ukraine lacks the most, is the brand of global trust. One word, global trust. As you will see in my presentation next week, we are positioning Ukraine, WTCA, as we are building economy of trust. Ukraine, as you all know, is one of the most corrupted countries in Europe today. A pretty ambitious goal, right? But the key is how we are positioning, I think, and where we make money. We make money only when transactions happens, not on a consultant basis. Well, I explained to you the following. Our job is to play a fiduciary role and split the earnings on a residual basis. What I mean by that, EJ, if I'm selling you this pen, you company in Holland from Ukraine, we're going to charge 5% from every pen as a business development sales commission, call it whatever you want. And you and I are splitting that 50-50, 2.5% each. We are positioning ourselves and we are playing a fiduciary role in the relationship, meaning in any partner relationship, there's going to be pimples, right? Some kind of tension. It's our job to manage both sides culturally, economically, and on a level of trust. That is the great value for companies in Ukraine and around the world that I already spoke to many. Yeah. So the next question comes, how do you make it very efficient in order to make sure that they can, after we connect them together, we maintain the residual income, right? We're building trust. And that is what Mahrib was pointing out. We must build platforms that connects us, not the Zoom calls. We're talking about trade platforms, business to business trade platforms, which allows all stakeholders to see what's happening at every step of the transaction, which is we are talking about blockchain technology as a system underlying it. Thank you.
Henry, that's a good addition to it. And I mean, that's one of the things that we can discuss in the next time with the different business models. I agree with you. It's a good addition, a good adding to it. Very nice. And we have to look into that as well. So far, we didn't do it on our side. The way we are selling our trade mission is that we say to the companies, it's free. Your participation is free. Although but you only charge at the moment that you get an appointment.
But so my point is not about the charges, how much we charge. My point is it's not where we should be making money.
Exactly. No, I understand.
Yeah, that's my point. Thank you.
Rani, we should go on to the next topic, I guess. If there are no further questions.
So if there are any further questions or if anyone has any input, we'd be delighted to hear it if you could send it along to us after this meeting. Oh, hi, Robin.
Yes, hi. Hi, everyone. Very interesting discussion. I just wanted to quickly mention that, coming off what Henry was mentioning, that around the GA, we will have a week of matchmaking, basically, that will be powered by an algorithm. And this is really what we want to bring as a global community to the network, to the members, where any of your customers, clients, tenants, business partners will be able to actually search for business contacts, connections, prospects at a global scale, where we hope that the algorithm, the artificial intelligence, will make it possible to find an effective way and an efficient way to connect people with each other. So this is something that for every individual World Trade Center, rather than sometimes going more bilateral, trying to find contacts, we're going to test for the first time to see how can we bring this together at the global level and include exactly what you call it, blockchain or artificial intelligence, Henry, to bring that to the table. So it will be a very interesting test to see how we can basically create an opening for every single World Trade Center to get access to the business community of every other World Trade Center. And that's basically what the underlying value could be, to have all the businesses that you work with connect with one another, and how that then translate into a revenue model for each individual World Trade Center. That would be, of course, a next step to look at. I just want to mention that this is coming with the GA at the end of April. Thank you.
Thanks, Robin. It's great to hear that. Okay, so we've got just under 15 minutes left. We had one last item just regarding, which wasn't on the updated agenda, just regarding, so we got some statistics around the concept of reciprocity, and we want to be able to present this to you more as food for thought, and maybe we can have some inputs on this at our next MAC meeting. But I will hand over to Nicholas. Do you want to present the statistics and run through what we've learned?
Yeah. Can I share the screen?
One moment. Know that you were, yep.
So do you see my screen? I still see the document from...
Yeah, you should make it big. You should make it, put it on the presentation, yeah.
So
yep.
You see it now?
Yeah, very good.
I just wanted to present some facts and figures from the reciprocity desk for the European region. It's not about pointing fingers to anyone, but it's just to make awareness of the situation, and maybe to have a discussion later on today or on the next meeting, what we can do to enhance the activities on reciprocity desk. From what I've learned, participating on the reciprocity desk is not mandatory. So today we have 66 members, 76% of the region participating on reciprocity desk. So the statistics for European reciprocity in 2019 and 2020 is that only 10 European members sent requests on reciprocity desk. In total, we had 165 sent requests from Europe in 2020 and 146 in 2019. We had 57 European members receiving requests from other members in 2019-2020, divided in 450 received requests in 2020 and 272 in 2019. So the total numbers are 686 requests were posted in 2019, and 21% of them were from Europe. I'm happy to see that we had an increase in the number of requests in 2020 to 1,479. If that's due to the COVID situation, I'm not sure. But the numbers from Europe didn't increase. We stayed on the same level, about 165 posted requests. The answers we have from reciprocity desk from European region is that 25% accepted to help on these requests. 5% of them was actually marked as completed, including survey and all that stuff. We had 40% of the answer was, sorry, we cannot help, and 30% was not responding. So that's 70% of requests posted that we can't help or we didn't respond to within the region. So that leads me to some questions. One is, why are we not using the tool more? Why are not everyone that have trade service on this tool? But most of the important thing is the question, what can we do to escalate responses on reciprocity desk? And that's why I bring this also to the Trade Service MAC meeting. If you have any ideas to how to get forward in this process. So that's it.
Nicholas, may I ask a question?
Yeah.
Just going back a couple of slides, we said that there was only a small handful of European members who sent reciprocity requests, but the number of reciprocity requests was quite big. So is that saying that there's just a few people, it's the same people using the tool all the time?
Now the number of requests are requests from one member to another. So the 10 members that actually sent requests, they have, the 10 members have in total sent 165 requests in 2020.
Okay.
So that goes to different World Trade Centers and different other members.
Okay.
And is there, Nicholas, is there an idea what kind of question, what kind of requests have been asked?
That's a number of requests. That's a number of different reasons. That could be from a member requesting something. It could also be asking for support or to find information, trade information from another region and so on. So that's very, very divided. And that will take much too long time to actually go into that also. But the main thing I believe that we need to work on is actually to have the response rate going from the 30% not responding to as close to zero as possible.
Nicholas, I have a question.
Great tool, and I think this is something that we should use more often. And maybe it's we should add some training into the tool for the members. Maybe that's a lot of new members, new co-workers and managers that's not acquainted with the tools and so on. So I'm happy to receive your ideas.
Nicholas, I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
We can.
So between the 40% of people who could not respond, is there an option? I don't know what the questions are about, but is there an option, for example, to say, well, I can't answer your question as my World Trade Center, but I know a World Trade Center that I could help you, and maybe I can transfer the question to them, or is that not possible?
There's it says we may not be able to help, but we need more information. I think it's something like that. Maybe that is that what you mean? Or
well, just because 40% of people saying that they cannot help, maybe it would be, I don't know, just useful to know why they were not able to help, and maybe someone else within the network could actually provide the help that was needed. I don't know.
Yes, Anais, if I can interject there. Yes, there is an option to say, we can't help, but we know who may be able to help you.
Okay.
Part of the problem also is that some users or some people sending requests will send a request to a World Trade Center that doesn't provide that service to begin with. So sometimes for trade services, requests are being sent to World Trade Centers that have no capacity to handle trade services, right? So the person sending the request isn't quite looking at what the options are with that particular World Trade Center or what that World Trade Center specializes in. And going back to Nicholas, the training is happening. That's that digital platform training happening next week.
Yeah,
Hosting.
that's happening next week. So that's only a part, but maybe we should have more detailed training for the reciprocity desk at another occasion. I'm not sure.
Yes, that happens. That happens routinely. Yes.
Yeah. So what happens also if you don't answer, that will be escalated to me as a regional director responsible for the European region, and I've asked to get more time because I've noticed that I have 2 days to respond back. So that's too short time for me to actually talk to the World Trade Center not responding and to fill in any reason why they're not responding. So that's a small change maybe we can do to the system. Maybe we could also add reasons for not be able to help, so we have more statistics. I'm not sure. That's something we have to give to Crystal and see if we can do something with the tool.
If I may add something to it, the reciprocity desk is also a way in getting and obtaining trust. Henry really nicely mentioned that trust is the key. So if we use the reciprocity desk, and if you are putting in a request on the reciprocity desk, you also expect to receive a reply, to receive an answer. And if we don't take the reciprocity desk serious, then the next time that this person also has another request, then he or she might not use the reciprocity desk because of this trust. So I feel that the tool, the reciprocity desk, it's a huge possibility for us to express what we are looking for. But we all need to really look carefully at answering the reciprocity desk because you're answering your colleague World Trade Center.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the fear I have, and that's why I brought it up, because if you have 30% not answering the request and 40% saying I can't help you, at the end people will stop putting requests on the reciprocity desk.
Exactly. All right, but next time we will use this topic next time, Rani.
Yeah, I think it's important. Like, I think we should all, I'm interested to hear what people think about this, or if there's any input or any experience shares that people have. I think it's fair to say we'll take all the feedback, but I do agree, Nicholas, I think that, we need to, if we get to the bottom of why people aren't responding, that might help some of it. But really, as World Trade Centers, like EJ said, we're all in the same network and we're all on the same side. So we need to be responding in some way and figuring out a way that we can help.
Rani, may I say something?
Of course.
If I'm not wrong, maybe my memory is failing me. This tool and platform was developed some years ago. It may have evolved to a better platform, but the actual concept was developed many, many years ago. Since then, we have Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, house party, I don't know, FaceTime. I can go through all the social platforms that people reciprocate. Today, you know, if somebody wants something from me, they send it to me on a WhatsApp, and not necessarily through the reciprocity platform. And they get an instant answer, but it's not visible at the WTCA level. I just think that the lack of use is purely because of the time and the changes that has come in the communication tools that we have at our disposal.
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting insight. And thank you.
But I agree, that could be one of the reasons, of course. But then again, you have to be knowing each other by LinkedIn or whatever platform you have to actually post those requests on those platforms. This is also a tool where you can post requests, the reciprocity desk, you can post requests to members that you actually don't know that well. Also for new members that are not into the network yet.
Mm-hmm.
Nicholas, I think like anything else, we as a World Trade Center Association need to compete with platforms like WhatsApp and Facebook and Instagram and promote our product. Instead of expecting people to use it, encourage them to use it.
Sure. So we don't have time for that discussion today. So
is it possible, Nicholas, could we share, and possibly with Crystal's help, could we send that presentation around when in the minutes of this meeting?
Yes, of course. I believe I sent it to you already. So
yes, Nicholas, I don't think I have it. If you can send it to me.
I will send it to you, Crystal.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so we are at the end of our meeting. Thanks everyone for showing up today. We'll set the next MAC meeting, but if anyone has any contribution that they'd like to be considered on the agenda for the next time, we'd be pleased to hear it. And once again, please don't be afraid to give us your feedback on our collective goal of growing the MAC and increasing our engagement, and any other feedback on the virtual trade mission concept, as well as the business case studies. And Freek and Henry are going to be on the stage next time. So we'll have a great meeting to look forward to. Thanks so much for your time today, and have a great rest of the week.
Same to you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Nice to see everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.